All right, well, welcome to the Living at Home Network platform user training. This is the first of 5 training videos that we've created for LAHN platform users to familiarize themselves with the platform and the ways they can use this in your work. The platform has been developed by the Databank in partnership with the Living at Home Network. And I am Chris Hansen, co-founder and CEO of the Databank. I'll be guiding you through this training. So, first, a little overview of what is the Living at Home Network platform. There's 3 sort of areas that the platform will be used in your organization. The first is your website, the ability to create secure online forms that can be input in your website. You can use these forms to take donations, to take registrations for meetings and events, to allow people to subscribe to different types of communications, and other types of places or ways that you'd want to collect information on your website. The second area that you'll be interacting with the platform is the portal. And the portal has been developed specifically for Living at Home Network organizations to manage their service activities. This will be the place where you'll enter in new service requests. You'll match those service requests with volunteers, and then you'll manage the various processes around how those service requests are take place. In future iterations of the platform, it'll also be the place where you'll enter in new volunteer information and new participant records as well. And then the third area is the CRM itself. This is where all of your data resides, specific to all of your stakeholders, your donors, your participants, volunteers, allied organizations, other interested parties that you want to track your interactions with, as well as a integrated communications hub to allow you to communicate with your various stakeholders. Today's training, we're going to look specifically at the CRM and cover some of the basic functions of that to get you familiar with some of those aspects. So what are we going to be covering in this training today? First is logging into the CRM. We're going to look at the dashboard and some of the ways that you can create a really quick view of different metrics within your database. We're going to look at navigation through the CRM, how to get to different areas. And then we're going to spend some time on how do you search or query your database to pull up records specifically that you're interested in looking at. And then we're going to look at contact records themselves. And what we mean by contact record is it can be an individual, it can be an organization, it could be a volunteer, a participant, a donor, other types of stakeholders, and all the information relevant to that person or organization is stored within their contact record. And then finally, we're going to look at help and support options for your use of the system. So with that, let's go in and take a look at some of the processes we're talking about here. So first is login. So logging in the system is very easy. You can first come to our website here, thedatabank.com. You'll see up here in the top level navigation, there's a login link. There's also a login link down here at this level of navigation. You click on that, it'll take you to this page, which is a login screen. Now, prior to your first logging into the databank, you'll receive an email with a link to log in for your first time. You can create your password, and to log in again, you just input your email and password. You can also use your social media account logins to log into the databank as well. Typically on subsequent logins, if you click that login screen, or let's say save this login URL, it will automatically identify who you are, and it will say your name, and you just click on that to log into your databank. So now let's say I've entered that, and the next screen you're going to see is once you log into the Databank CRM is this screen right here. And this is your dashboard into the databank. And the dashboard, as you can see here, contains a lot of different metrics specific to information in your database. A number of these tiles are specific to donation or fundraising activities. But there's also some reporting of email performance, upcoming meetings, and any new contacts or contact information has been entered in is identified in this little window here. The dashboard is completely configurable by each user. You can click on this little settings icon here and click on or off the different types of information you want to see in your dashboard. Then also within the dashboard itself, you can move these tiles around so that they're in a specific order, whatever order is of most interest to you. There's a video and some more information about this dashboard here in these links. In addition to this summary dashboard, if you click on the dashboard navigation over here, it'll drop down a submenu, and you'll see a number of additional dashboard reports that are accessible with just one click there. So now let's talk a bit about navigation within the Databank. As you can see here, main navigation is over on the left-hand side. Clicking on any of these top levels will drop down submenus to allow you to get to specific areas within the Databank very quickly. I encourage you all to spend some time going through all of these navigation links to familiarize yourself with how to access different parts of the system. In addition to the left-hand navigation here, you'll see up at the top here, we have some additional links here. This quick find is a very quick way to find a record in the databank, especially if you know the person's name, their address, their email, inputting any of that kind of information. So for instance, if I type my name in there, it's going to pull up a list of any records that match that information that I've typed in there. In this case, you can see my record there pulls up. This icon here is dbot. That's our AI assistant within the databank. I will cover this in another training, but this dbot can really help you in your work to create messaging, to search your data, to do data analysis, those types of things. Again, I cover this in another training video. We also have some trainings on dbot as well. This link right here will show you, as you've been using the system, if you're looking at various records, it'll track that. And let's say you need to go back to a record you recently looked at, you can use this recently viewed and quickly link to go to a specific record that you've looked at previously. And then finally, here is your account information. You can use this to log out. You can also just close the browser window to log out. You can also use this to change your password as well. All right, so there we go. That's some basic navigation things within the databank. Now let's talk a little bit about the search function and how do you find records within the databank. Well, as I mentioned, you can use this quick search here. Again, if you know a person's name, you can do that, and then just clicking on the person's name will take you to their record. We'll get into a contact record here in just a minute, but let's continue with the search functions. Let's say you need to, look a little more deep into doing the searches. So clicking on the search link here will give you a list of all the different data types that reside within your database. So for instance, if you're looking for a particular service record, you can click on the service link here. That'll create a form where you can go in and say, okay, what service am I looking for? Let's say I'm looking for service records that have happened in the last 12 months. Again, this is demonstration data. I'm not sure how current the information is in here, but let's say last 7 days. So here I'm going to search, pull up a list of all of the participants that have a service record that's been created for them in the last 7 days. And then you can click on a person's name to go to that specific record. While we're here, I want to talk just briefly about the search results window. You can see we have some fields in here, an address, an email field, those types of things. This screen is also configurable by each user. Clicking on the setup icon here, you'll see a list of fields that you can show in this search results page. So for instance, if you also want to see um, for some reason the person's gender, you just drop that into the page. So just dragging and dropping these into the columns, and you can reorder these columns. So again, very configurable. Um, Spend some time taking a look at that and get your search results page to look like the way you want it to. There's also some other icons up here. So as you're creating a search, you can use this tab here to save the search that you're on. This is especially useful if you're doing multi-step searches where you're filtering a search result or adding on to a search results. Saving those types of searches can be really helpful, especially if it's something you're going to be using in the future. You can also download these records just right here, export these 3 records that you've created in your search results if that's something you want to do as well. So that's kind of the search function. I went through it kind of quickly. You can see here is a where save searches would be reside that you've created, those types of things. So very easy to search data within your data bank. All right, so that's the search function. Now let's go back and look at a contact record. And please feel free to stop this video at any time and spend some time working on what I'm talking about. I know I'm going through this information pretty quickly, but we have a lot to cover here. So here I am in a sample record. Now this happens to be me, and this is the address of our office here in St. Paul with my actual contact information in here. So I'm happy to share that with any of you. So this main record has some specific areas to look at. As you can see here at the top, I've got my name, address, contact information over here on the left. Over here on the right is some summary transaction information. So if someone's made a donation or they paid for an event that they're going to attend or bought some merchandise, any type of transaction would be summarized over here. Down on the lower left is what we call activity history. And activity histories can be auto-generated by the system. So for instance, if you send out an email to a selection of records using the PowerMail function, it'll automatically create an activity record for them. If they then click on a link in that email to say come to a sign up form, it'll create a record for that. If they then click on fill out that registration page and submit it, it will note that as well. So there are places in the system that automatically tracks users as they're interacting with communications or forms that are set up in the system. In addition to that, you can create your own activity records by just clicking on this plus sign here. And this is a universal icon within the system. Anywhere you see a plus sign, that's the cue to click there to create a new record specific to that area that you're looking at. So clicking here would create a new activity record, and then you can fill this out as you want to. You can see here I've created a couple of types of activity records called to-do. We'll get into that in a little bit, but to-do records actually create not only the activity record, but it will send reminders to you as well, specific to the type of activity that you've asked it to remind you about. And we have a to-do report. Makes it very easy for you when you log in to see if you have any activities that are due on a particular date. Now, if you're in a contact record and let's say you want to edit the information that you see up here at the top of the page, I just click on the person's name or this edit icon here. It'll take you to a form where you can edit whatever information is in this part of the database. You can see here we have many contact types for records in here. So you can have multiple contact types for any contact record in the system. Um, so please spend some time, familiarize yourself with the different types of fields that are in this contact record. You can see your contact preferences as well. So you'll know if this person wishes to receive emails, if they've opted into text messages is another one. want to point out quickly that as a nonprofit organization, someone just giving you their cell phone number is automatically opts them into receiving text messaging communications from them. This is a federal law that's in place. You do not have to get specific opt-in permission from them. Just the act of giving you their cell phone number opts them into receiving text messages from you. Now, of course, they can unsubscribe from that at any time as well. All right, so that's the personal information. We'll click back here to the history tab. Now, you see underneath a person's name, there are multiple tabs that will take you to different types of information specific to this contact record. This is where you're going to see specific participant information, volunteer information, service histories, evaluation information if the participant's been evaluated, and also case notes specific to a participant. So let's click on one of those. I'll click on the volunteer. You'll see that some of these tabs are highlighted, some are not. A highlighted tab means that there is information or there's data specific to this contact within that type of information. So here we are in a volunteer record for this specific contact. You can see that this is all information that you'd be collecting on a new volunteer as they sign up. And you can enter the information here. If you need to modify, you can do that anytime. Again, encourage you to spend some time looking at your data bank, looking at these different fields to familiarize yourself with the types of data that are being stored within that record. Service records now, I'm a volunteer, not a participant, but I do have service records in here because I've been assigned specific service tasks for these different volunteers. And we'll get into how that happens in a later time. Specifically, you will create new service records in the portal, which is a different interface into the system. Then those server records automatically get saved here in the data bank and are available for you to view here. All right, there are some other links up here to familiarize yourself with regarding the data bank. I'm not going to go into all of those right now, but those will be covered either in additional training materials or additional videos. All right, so that's search functions. I want to show you real quickly how do you create a new contact record. So you're logged into the data bank. You click on the contacts, and here is a link to create add a contact. So that will pull up the personal data form. We took a look at this before when we were looking at my record, and you just enter the information. So let's say we'll call this person Tim participant. You can enter their address. Now, this is integrated with a tool that will automatically help identify addresses as you start typing them in. This, by the way, is the address to our office here in St. Paul. So makes it really easy, quick to add that in. We are in suite 201. I'll put that in there. I'll verify that. Okay, and then we'll assign the +4 for that. And then add in any additional information that you want to here. An important thing to consider when you're creating new contact records to identify what contact type this is. So this is a participant record. This is good to allow you to easily then select a group of participants in the future. Contacts can have multiple participant types. So let's say they're also a donor, and sometimes there may be also a volunteer. So we'll put that in there as well. And then other specifics particular to living at home network organizations that we put in here, especially for your reporting purposes. Select the various types of things you want here. A date of birth is important. Let's put mine in here. And then there are contact preferences as well. We looked at that. So then let's save that. You can see you put the date of birth in there, it'll automatically identify age relative to that. So there we go. Now the next step might be to enter in the specific participant information, uh, right? And this would be the same type of thing that you're currently collecting on your clients or participants as well. So you enter that information in there and submit it. Just to remind you, every time you enter in new information, you're going to have to click on a submit or save button in order to save that information. It does not save it automatically for you. There is a step you need to take in order to save that information. So that's how to create a new record in the system, identify the information, and now once that's saved, it'll be viewed both in the portal, allow you to create service records specific to that participant, etc. All right, so that's creating a new contact record. Let's go through just a few more things here about navigation in the system. We'll cover communications in the next training, but this is our communications hub where you have access to our bulk email tool called PowerMail. You can create SMS text messages to go out. You can create mail merge if you are doing a direct mail piece, a solicitation, or those types of things. And publications is where you can create different types of messaging, such as an e-newsletter or volunteer communications or participant communications that you want people to subscribe to. And then those subscriptions show up here in a participant record under subscriptions. All right, so now we've covered that. Let me just go back here to our training to see what else we need to cover. We've looked at the dashboard, navigation, search, query data. We looked at contact records, help and support. Okay, this is one other area that I really want to emphasize to all of you. Really encourage you to familiarize yourself with all of the various help and support capabilities that are part of your platform, part of your system. I click on the help link here. First is the support center. Let's click on that, show you our support center. So here we are in the support center, where you can click through to see articles, videos on all sorts of aspects of the data bank. For instance, if I click on news and guides, you can see there's a series of webinar recordings you can look at. There's guides specific to different functions within the data bank, announcements, those types of things. So encourage you again, spend some time in the support center, familiarize yourself with what's available there. There's also a search function here. You can search by a particular topic, those types of things. So this is a pretty easy first step to help you if you get stuck on something or you're wondering how to do various things within the system. There's also, under the help menu, is a support request link. This will pull up a form within the data bank to submit a specific support request. You can select, what is your issue? If it's something about how do I use a particular aspect of the system, to help you to narrow it down. So the more specific you can get, the easier it is for our support people to respond to you. And fill in what other additional information and then hit submit. This will go to our support people. Now, one of the nice things about this is that it also creates a record in our support tool so that you're going to be able to track responses to the support requests. It helps us to identify what potential issues might have happened because it sends us some additional information specific to what you were doing within the data bank at that time. So again, really encourage you to take advantage of the support request function if you're having an issue within the system. In addition, we have various user guides that are available here. These are also in the support center. And then last thing I want to show you here is, and this really encourage you to take a look at these, we offer regularly scheduled online trainings on various aspects of the data bank. These are free to you to sign up anytime, take advantage of them. You can see here we have a series of them starting at the beginning of April. Even if you're not set up with your user account, I encourage you to look at these and sign up for some if you're interested. Covers a wide range of various topics in the use of the system, goes into much more detail than we're going to be going through with these living at home network specific trainings right now. So these are available on our website. If you go down to the bottom footer, you can click on client training at any time and pull up a list. This also gives you a link into the support center as well here in the footer on our website. All right, so there we go. We've covered the dashboard with some search capabilities, looked at contact records, looked at the help menu. I think that's probably enough to go through at this point in time. Hope you've enjoyed this video. Feel free to watch it as many times as you want. There's also 4 additional videos covering different aspects of the system that you will have access to. All right, thanks very much. Good luck.